What's up, you guys? We're back with another video. Today, I thought I'd do something a little different. We're gonna make a tier list of all the Pokemon from Generation 1, all 151 Pokemon. So, I thought this would be fun to do, just to go back and kind of reminisce uh, the first generation of Pokemon, which is arguably what made it so popular today. So, mm, what are we gonna like grade these Pokemon on? What categories? It'll be, I think, first of all, how iconic they were. You know, there's some Pokemon that kind of really pushed um, the popularity of Pokemon. So it'll be based on how iconic they are, their design, whether they're well designed or poorly designed. That's not, that's kind of subjective. So I'll try to be a little careful with that one. And also, I think overall, like the story behind it, like kind of like the lore or like how they came about, how the design came about, maybe. That would be the three categories that we will be basing this tier list on. I don't know how fun that would be, but let's start off with Bulbasaur. Let's take a look at this guy. I was gonna like search up the original art of all the Pokemon, but the thing about Bulbasaur is that he's really cute. He is the strongest starter of the three. But I played the game when I was a kid. I played Pokemon Blue version as a kid, and you would never think to figure out which was the strongest, right? You would just pick the one that you liked, and I picked Bulbasaur. But to be honest with you, Bulbasaur was not my favorite. Bulbasaur was kind of just the last one, because I played with my brothers, two of my brothers, so they all picked their starters before I picked mine, and I was just kind of left with Bulbasaur. I'm gonna put Bulbasaur at B tier. I feel like he is pretty well designed. He is very cute, very likable. Uh, Not as much personality as like the other ones, I feel like. Maybe. We'll see. We'll think about it. For now, he goes into B tier. Ivysaur, on the other hand, I feel like this could be controversial, is A tier. Because I feel like I love the design of Ivysaur. Let me just go to his page here. Um, if you look at him, he's kind of a lot better looking than Bulbasaur, right? He's slightly different color. Granted, I don't like the different colors, to be honest. I feel like they should kind of stay the same like color palette. Um, but he's a lot more interesting to look at, He's got this rose coming out of his back. He's still kind of cute, but he's not too cute. He's not like a baby. He's kind of like you know, he's kind of like a little puppy, like an eager little puppy. And that's why I love Ivysaur a lot. He's just not so iconic, as the other starters. All the mid-tier, second evolution, sorry, all the first evolutions are never that popular. So I'll put him in A tier. And this is going to be, pretty controversial, but I think Venusaur is B tier, just because I feel like he's not that interesting. He's kind of ugly. He's got this like ugly face that's not, and he's like, he no longer has the little spots, but he now has these bumps on his leg. He looks more like a real frog, and frogs are so ugly. I do like the thing on his back, though. I think, it finally bloomed. It's this cool little thing sticking out his back. It's probably the only thing I do like. And he's a big boy, with Pokemon, I feel like the bigger the Pokemon, sometimes. That's how I used to think anyway, is like the bigger the better. So I'm gonna put him in B tier. That's still not bad. I still probably really like him a lot. So he was also like, I remember if you played Pokemon the base set trading card game. If you pulled him, it wouldn't be that exciting. I feel like it'd be really exciting to pull like a Charizard, right? And it'd be pretty exciting to pull a Blastoise. But for me, pulling a Venusaur was like, ugh. It's like the worst out of the best, I guess, kind of. Okay, and then you have Charmander. Charmander for me is B tier, just because he's not that. How do I say this? He's cute, uh, but there's not a lot of thought that's been put to the design. He's kind of cool still. I feel like he's a salamander, pretty simple, straightforward. You know what you're looking at, you know. But there's not a lot of like thought that's been put into the design. He's got personality, but not like a lot of it, I feel like. So, um, I don't know. I don't know. He could be A tier. He could be A tier. I'll probably put him in A tier. He's kind of, I like him a lot. He is the worst in terms of stats, like probably the worst out of the three starters, if I remember correctly. But he, as I said, like that doesn't matter. Um, yeah, I'll put him in A tier. Here's something though. I'll put Charmeleon in D tier. I really don't like Charmeleon. I really don't like him. I don't know why. Like, no, I do know why. It's because he's kind of ugly, right? With Ivysaur, he kind of looks like a eager little like puppy. With Charmeleon, like what is that thing, dude? He's a completely different color to Charizard and Charmander. Like if you look at Charizard, he's kind of similar orange, in most cases, whereas like Charmeleon's always portrayed in this like reddish color. So he's like different from the other two. He's not that, there's not a lot of personality. He's really forgettable. Just not interesting at all. Charizard, on the other hand, is for sure S tier. Okay. Charizard is so incredibly iconic, right? He was most definitely, in my opinion, the most popular like starter of all time. I feel for sure. Okay, if you fought somebody who had a Charizard on their team, you'd be, when you were 9, of course, you'd be pretty intimidated. He's this cool-looking dragon type. Who doesn't like a dragon type? There wasn't a lot of dragon type monsters in. Well, he's not dragon type actually. What is he? Fire type? I don't know. There used to be. I don't know. He's probably fire, right? Like they call him like fire Pokemon or something. They don't call him dragon. Dragonite is probably the only dragon Pokemon, but he looks like a dragon, a fiery dragon that breathes fire. He's got a fiery tail. He's got giant wings. There's just nothing about him that's not cool, and he's really well designed. Um, definitely S tier for sure. Squirtle. There's kind of a tough one, okay? Because he is kind of cute. I'm gonna put him maybe in B tier. Let's search him up and see if I change my mind here. Squirtle. Squirtle, the turtle. He probably is the cutest out of the three. Well, it's between him and Bulbasaur. He's just not that interesting in my opinion, Like probably the only interesting thing about him is like his tail, you know? He's got like a weird looking tail and it's not even that cool. For sure B tier, maybe even C tier, I feel like. Just because he's one of the starters that makes him iconic enough. Okay, we move on to Wartortle. Okay, the evolution of Squirtle. For sure, without a shadow of a doubt, A tier. He's one of my favorites, to be honest. He's so freaking cool, dude. Okay? The only thing preventing him from going up to S tier is that they didn't really give him that much attention. Again, right? Very much like Ivysaur. He's got this like eager kind of look, and he looks really cute, while at the same time looking pretty cool as well. He's got these like winged ears, which is reminiscent of like a Valkyrie, right? So in that sense, he's pretty cool, dude. Like in terms of design, I'd put him up there for sure. And the tail looks kind of fluffy, which is a little bit weird. It's kind of an evolution of the curly tail that Squirtle has, I guess, but I don't know why it's fluffy now. It's a little weird. And then we move on to Blastoise, another A tier without a doubt. Maybe S tier, but I don't think so. He's just not iconic enough, right? But pretty high up there in the A tier. Okay. Blastoise. Okay. I'll tell you why he's so cool, okay? First of all, he's huge. He's this like tanky looking Pokemon. He's big. He's, like he looks like Bowser, from Super Mario. Like at that time, Super Mario was super popular. Everybody knew who Bowser was. So he's like this Bowser-looking guy, right? Instead of spikes on the shell, he's got these two freaking cannons sticking out his shell, and that's just like super cool, dude. He just looks like, man, he for sure is really cool looking. I remember as a kid, I needed to have him on the team for sure. My second favorite starter, next to Charmander, I guess, but I only liked Charmander because of Charizard. I wasn't a huge fan of Charmander, or I didn't like Charmeleon at all. We move on to Caterpie. Caterpie. Here's a tough one because I do like the design of it. I feel like they could have gone really lazy with the design. This worm-like Pokemon, right? But they didn't. They kind of made him look. What's unique about it is I hate insects, and I think everybody kind of does. So it's tricky to like design a Pokemon that looks like an insect or like is inspired by an insect, but at the same time it being kind of cute, you know? And I feel like this sort of achieves it. It's not, obviously as a Pokemon, nobody really wanted him on the team. I guess you would want like Butterfree on the team for to battle Brock, right? Uh, so he would be like Butterfree's pretty good as a Pokemon, but Caterpie is just nobody really wanted him. So I think he's kind of good enough to go just for the design, just because they weren't really that lazy with the design. I put him in C tier, I would say. Maybe B, but it's weird to put like Squirtle and Bulbasaur in the same category as Caterpie. Metapod, without a doubt, like we shouldn't even talk about it as D tier. It's terribly designed. Um, I don't know what to say. I think Butterfree deserves to go up to maybe even C tier. He should be a little higher. I feel like Butterfree should maybe be B tier. But I think Bulbasaur should go up to A tier. It's kind of tough seeing him in the same category, in the same tier. Butterfree should be B tier just because he kind of plays a bigger role in the series, in the Pokemon anime, as Ash's Pokemon. So I think definitely deserves B tier. I think that's fair. And then we move on to another bug Pokemon, Weedle, D tier. Just don't even. Kakuna, D tier. Sorry. So forgettable. Don't like it. Not cute. Not interesting. Beedrill, however, I think should be B tier because I feel like Beedrill is pretty cool. He looks pretty menacing. He doesn't look much like a bee. Of course, like looking at the colors, it's a bee, but he's a lot more than that. They could have just given him like, I don't know, insect hands, but they instead chose this like spiky thing. It's not a drill, but I guess maybe he can use it as one. He's got the stinger. He's got red eyes, without being too menacing or too scary. I feel like that achieves a lot and deserves to be in the B tier for sure. Pidgey was the Pokemon as a child, as a kid, right? I could never pronounce his name. I would always say like Pidgey, and I never knew to call it Pidgey until I was way older. So Pidgey suffers from an I mean the art of it, right? The design of it suffers from a problem, which is that his evolutions are basically him, exactly the same, but cooler, right? So it's kind of hard to categorize him because I feel like he should be B tier, but just because his two brothers over here, his two evolutions are look a lot better. By the way, I think Pidgeotto looks better than Pidgeot. So I think he deserves to go to C. And then Pidgeotto, which in my opinion looks better than Pidgeot. Let me search it just to make sure. But I remember looking at a Pidgeotto and thinking that was the final form. Like this deserves to be the final form because he looks a lot fiercer. He looks a lot cooler. I guess the only thing maybe is like Pidgeot has a bigger wingspan, which makes him cooler. But the design of it just makes me think that Pidgeotto was the final form. Let me look at Pidgeot real quick. See, Pidgeot just doesn't look as cool. He's got these like little like legs that have no length. You know, definitely B tier for Pidgeotto, C tier for Pidgeot. They are the coolest bird Pokemon, I would say, apart from the legendary birds, of course. But I think this is the way to go. Rattata, just not interesting. But he is purple, which is kind of cool. I feel like once the designers like take something out of the, like make the Pokemon unique from the animal that it was inspired from, I feel like that makes test. I hope still recording. Sorry, guys. Um, okay. Anyway, Rattata, I feel like should be C tier, just because he's purple, and I feel like a different color makes it kind of cool. Um, and then you have Radicate. Radicate, definitely just D tier. It just looks like a rat, a giant rat. So nothing special about it. I feel like in terms of design, it's kind of lazy. Uh, Spearow, kind of not cool. Not a fan. C tier. Fearow, I feel like he does look kind of menacing. He does look kind of, he's got a big wingspan. You know, he looks bigger, but he just doesn't look like, he looks like a chicken, dude. He looks like a chicken with like large wings, and that puts him in C tier for sure. Ekans, ugh, just not memorable, dude. Just nothing interesting about Ekans. C tier. Although Arbok, right, the evolution of Ekans, is B tier. Why? Because he's very interesting. Like, he's a Cobra, clearly, right? It's just Cobra spelled backwards with a K. But the little, like, scary looking thing on his neck, or I don't know what you want to call it, kind of looks like a Gengar. I've always felt like it kind of looks like a Gengar, and that makes him really cool. If that was a callback to Gengar, kudos. That's very cool. Pikachu, without a doubt, don't even argue. S tier. Why? Here's why. I'll spend a little bit of time on Pikachu here. Yes, he's overrated in a way because everybody, when they think of Pokemon, there are people in this world, right, that think Pikachu and Pokemon are two words that are exchangeable, like interchangeable. Like they think Pokemon is Pikachu and Pikachu is Pokemon, right? Like he's so iconic that it kind of consumes the whole franchise almost. Like Pokemon is Pikachu, right? So first of all, that's how iconic it is. So it scores like a 10 out of 10 in that category. Number two, his design. Why do I like his design so much is that think of a mouse, okay? Think of a mouse, right? Stop just for a moment, forget everything you know about Pokemon, right? Imagine you're a kid and you've never seen Pokemon before. And I tell you, hey, you know this Pokemon, he's an electric mouse. Like, it wouldn't make sense. You would say, like, is he a mouse? He's not a mouse. I don't know what he is. Like, he's so far out of the animal that kind of inspired him, right? that he looks completely different, right? His rosy cheeks that shoot out like um, electricity, and like his ears, his body, everything about him is like not really a mouse. It's not really reminiscent. I guess his body is kind of really looks like a mouse. He's got these little mouse hands and legs. And then it also changes your perspective of a mouse, right? Everybody, nobody, most people on this planet, okay, would not like a mouse, but they love Pikachu, right? And his little lightning tail, everything about the design, the way it, there's brown bits of brown, a little on his fur, right? And the gradation of the tail to the base of the tail, the little black ears. I don't know why it's there, but it just works, and he just looks really cool. Um, he didn't look as good, of course, in the original art. In the original art, he was just this fat, like looking. Imagine Pikachu, but like super overweight, and he just looks like a ball. That was the original art, but they evolved it so much that now he looks really cute and likable, and they really succeeded in making this character like super lovable. And the voice, don't even get me started on the voice. They like hired this woman to do the voice, and it just nailed it. And everything about this Pokemon is just done right. That's why it's so successful. Raichu is so cool, and I'll tell you why. Okay, because he's not popular. He's not popular, and I love Raichu a lot, dude. Like, if you were to tell me, like, hey, which plushie would you like, Raichu or Pikachu? I would struggle to say Pikachu. I would kind of think, like, I kind of want the Raichu. Because in terms of design, he looks way cooler, in my opinion. Look at his tail, the way his tail turns from like this long, skinny tail into this lightning bolt. It just looks so much cooler than just the whole thing being a lightning bolt, right? The ears are kind of weird, but I like weird. It's a good weird, right? He doesn't have the red cheeks anymore. It's kind of yellow, and he's this orange, darker color. He looks really good, in my opinion. He definitely looks really good, but okay, he's not even 10% as iconic as Pikachu. Nobody knows what a Raichu is. Like, if you go up to a person who just knows a little bit about Pokemon, they wouldn't really know what a Raichu was unless they played the game when they were kids. So Raichu is one of those ones that I feel like. Hold on, let me check if my. Okay, I was just checking my headset is still working. So yeah, Raichu's super cool. He's super cool because he's not that popular, and that makes him kind of underground, and that's why he's definitely A tier, top tier of A tier for sure. We move on to Sandshrew. Sorry, buddy. Just like, I don't know what you are, dude. Armadillo, Sandslash. Ugh. I do remember though when I played this, like having Sandslash was pretty good. I don't remember why though. Anyway, they're just not that interesting. Nidoran, we're going to do this one together, this whole thing. Male and female Nidoran. Female doesn't look as cute, right? Kind of looks like it's just not as cute. This little guy, though, look at it, the size of his ears and the way he's kind of menacingly looking, at you. So I feel like female goes into. Here's the thing, though. Okay, here's what I love about this family of Pokemon, okay? They were the first Pokemon to introduce gender, right? Like, clearly, the designers of Pokemon never thought about gender, right? They just thought, hey, this one Pokemon has like gender. The difference, like a male version of this Pokemon versus a female version is different. Like, they're different colors. They evolve into different Pokemon. So that alone makes it somewhat iconic, and I think it deserves to go into C tier, at least. Whereas the male one, I do like a lot, and deserves to go into B tier. The middle one, again, not interesting, nothing much about it. Nidorino does look a little bit cooler, but just not cutting it for me. Neato Queen, I feel like, kind of deserves to go into B tier, because she is kind of okay looking. Like, I feel like if you had a Nido King, you needed a Nido Queen in your team. You can't have one without the other. and she just looks kind of cool. So Neato King though, I feel like is A tier. He looks menacing. He's this like big Pokemon that is like just looks like he's gonna smash everything in his path, you know, and that makes him cool for sure. A tier. Clefairy, possibly one of the cutest Pokemon ever. I think B tier for sure. Uh, Not much to say about this one. He's just really cute. Really likable. Clefable though, C tier. I feel like there's just not that they're not that different. They're not that different. He's just like a bigger version of Clefairy, and Clefairy's cuter because he's smaller. So that's why he's going to C tier. Vulpix, I think, deserves to go into B tier. Very cute, very likable. Similar vibes to like Eevee, you know, very cute puppy looking thing. Not much else to say other than he looks really good. Ninetales, however, is not cute, but he is absolutely majestic. Absolutely cool. Ninetales is one of those, is like, oh god, I want that to be my fire Pokemon in my team. If you don't have a Charizard, of course. But in terms of design, just it's inspired by like Japanese folklore, you know. I don't remember what it was, but he looks super nice. He looks like a companion that's like too good for you, you know? He looks too good for any trainer. And that's why he goes into A tier. And then Jigglypuff is kind of iconic on the show. Design-wise, really lazy, honestly, just not that great. I think C tier. Not that interesting a concept for a Pokemon in my opinion, and then Wigglytuff probably D tier. Sorry, buddy. Zubat. I feel like Zubat's kind of cool, to be honest. I think deserves to go into B tier. Why? I think he looks a lot like a bat, and with some very interesting sort of like design stuff. Like he's got this big, like cat-like ears. You know, the color kind of works. Everything about him, I feel like, is nice. So Zubat goes into B tier. It's not very sought after, obviously, in like a Pokemon team, in my opinion. But Golbat, for sure, without a doubt, goes into D tier. I mean, what is that, dude? Like, they should have kept him blind. Why does he have eyes now? You know, they made his ears smaller, I guess because he has a big mouth, which makes no sense. Like, what are you doing? Everything about it doesn't work. Oddish, just so forgettable. Gloom, I guess maybe a little more interesting because he's kind of cute. He's this drooling looking weird thing, and weird is kind of good. And then Vileplume, sorry, go back into D tier. Paris, again, I don't know what you are, dude. You're just like a crab with mushrooms sticking out. And then this Parasect, I don't know. It's like a hermit Pokemon, I guess. I'm just not sure about it, and not sure is just terrible. Venonat honestly kind of looks cute, right? He's this furry little like bug thing that doesn't quite look like a bug. Kind of cool. Kind of nice looking. Venomoth, yeah. You know, Venonat should almost go up to B tier, almost. I think I'll put him in B tier, actually. He does look pretty cute. But Venomoth, not interesting at all. Diglett, probably one of the worst designs ever. I don't understand what's going on. Like, also the thought of it is kind of weird. Like, he's a digging Pokemon, right? So it kind of feels like he probably has legs underground for him to burrow. It's super creepy to think about. And then Dugtrio is quite possibly the most lazy piece of design I've ever seen. Ever. So, Meowth, super iconic on the show. Kind of a cool looking guy. He's not cool looking, but kind of an interesting design. He's got these weird looking, kind of evil eyes, to be honest. Kind of creepy, but he's not a creepy character. I feel like he's a good character. He's got this gold thing on his forehead, which is kind of like an Egyptian statue, I feel like. It's kind of cool. Iconic. B tier. Persian, though, not as interesting. He does look kind of majestic, but not quite there. In terms of design, a little bit lazy. Egyptian, obviously Sphinx kind of Pokemon, so, but not quite there for me. Psyduck, I honestly like Psyduck a lot, kind of in the Detective Pikachu movie. He's kind of cool. Other than that, though, just not interesting. He's a little bit cute. I think B tier. I think B tier is fine. And then Golduck, he's just kind of Golduck. Maybe goes into C tier. Maybe B tier. But I don't know. But Golduck, I feel like is one of those I'm not sure about. He's not that great, but there are things about him that are interesting. But I'd have to kind of think about it to, like the red thing on his head is kind of cool. Like, what are you, like a psychic Pokemon? Which it kind of is. It can learn psychic moves, I believe. Uh, but he's a water type. I think he's interesting enough to go into B tier. I think that's fine for two different reasons. Psyduck is kind of cute because he's kind of stupid looking. Golduck is kind of cool, almost cool. If he were cool, he would go up to A tier for sure. And then you have Mankey. Mankey is just, ugh, what happened there? He's just like a head with arms and legs. Ugh, just not that interesting. I think Mankey goes up down to B, D. And then Primeape, just because he's like this rampaging looking Pokemon, makes him kind of cool. There's no other Pokemon that's like that. Definitely C tier. Growlithe! Growlithe. Growlithe for sure. B tier. I love Growlithe. He just looks like a little puppy that you want to have, You want to have him fight for you. He looks eager. I think in the show he's kind of the police dog, and he deserves to be one. The only reason he's in B tier and not A tier is because his evolution is just super cool. Arcanine is one of my favorite Pokemons ever. Not maybe top 10. Top 10. He just looks so cool, dude. He's like the first like majestic dog Pokemon, and I love dogs. Look at him, dude. He's got these like stripes, so he kind of looks like a tiger, but he's not a tiger. He's obviously a puppy. He's got these like the eye part of him, like there's no fur on the eye part of him, like it's just short fur, so he kind of looks like a superhero. Oh, dude, just everything about Arcanine, beautiful, beautiful. And then Poliwag, ugh, I'm gonna talk about this whole line right here. How should I say this, right? Tadpoles don't evolve into a bigger tadpole. They evolve into a frog. So I don't know what's going on here. I feel like Poliwrath is kind of cool. The little like thing in the middle, it just makes sense for him. It's lazy design, okay? It's lazy. Okay, you know what? Poliwag, kind of cute. Kind of cute. C. C tier, for sure. Abra. Okay, here's the thing. Abra, I'm going to do this whole line. I'm going to go a little faster here. I'm just going to do the whole line. And then Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam. Abra goes into B tier. Why? Because I think he's really well designed. He's really well designed. He's kind of like the baby magician Pokemon. He floats around. He's also super unique where like if you catch him in the wild, he runs away, teleports away. He's kind of a timid Pokemon, right? There's no other Pokemon like that. There's a lot of personality to this Pokemon. Evolves into Kadabra. Less interesting, but I remember I liked Kadabra a lot. Just because, I don't know. I guess the thought of being able to evolve into Alakazam was one thing. But he is cool. He's got this like big tail. I don't know why, but I liked his big tail a lot. And then he evolves into Alakazam, which is definitely, in terms of Gen 1, one of my favorites that I would always have on my team. Alakazam. Always. He looks cool. He kind of almost looks like a brute. He looks like a brute, but he's not a brute. He's like a magician. He's floating. He's doing these weird things. I was always attracted to weird things. Between Alakazam and Gengar, those are two of my favorites for sure to have on the team. And yeah, man, I don't think he was that much strong. He was that strong, but he's like padded up. Very cool looking. Also, I don't know what he is. Like, what is he supposed to be? Is he like a cat? Kind of have this like weird shape to the head. I feel like he's really well designed. He's really well designed. Okay, Machoke, and Machamp. Machop, D tier. Machoke, C tier, and then Machamp, I think A tier. Machamp looks absolutely brutal, really strong. Machop kind of looks like the kid. It's just not cool. It's just not cool in any way. Machoke, I feel like he's like a professional wrestler looking thing. Kind of has it, but he's kind of ugly too. And then you go into Machamp. Machamp is like this. He's got 4 arms, dude. He's probably inspired by the Mortal Kombat character, or maybe vice versa. I don't know. The big, 4-armed, like muscular guy on Mortal Kombat. Is probably looks like Machamp. Um, so definitely A tier. Just like him a lot. Bellsprout. Some of these are just like fly through because I'm just not interested. Bellsprout, Weepin' Bell, Victory Bell, not interesting at all. I guess Victory Bell, I sort of know what they're getting into. Like it's a Venus flytrap. It puts them in C tier, I guess. Tentacool, Tentacruel is kind of menacing looking. Probably deserves to be in C tier. Tentacool, just not cool at all. And then Geodude, just not. It's just a rock. He's a rock with 2 arms. Like this kind of lazy design. Graveler, however, should be B tier. Graveler looks good. Okay, let me show you. I'll tell you why Graveler is B tier. They actually put a lot of thought into his design. Look at him. He's got 4 arms, right? I know what you're thinking. Like, I like Pokemon with 4 arms. No, not just that, but he's got these 2, like, sort of primary hands that go out, and then these 2 hands that are just sort of, like, closer to his body. There's, like, some hierarchy there that I like a lot. Test. My freaking headphones keep shutting off. Test. All right, they're on now. Graveler looks really good. He's got like this crown looking thing that's kind of sticking out, but it's not really his head. Dude, just everything about him looks cool. He looks creepy, actually. He looks really creepy, and that's good. That's good. Golem, D tier. I'm sorry, buddy. You're just like, I don't know what you are, but you don't look good. You're terrible design. Ponyta. Ponyta, kinda C tier, I think. Like, almost B tier, right? Ponyta is like cute. He's a cute little pony. It's on fire, but it's also kind of lazy design in that, like, okay, what if a horse was on fire and that would be like a fire Pokemon? It's just kind of lazy. Rapidash, though, for some reason, in my opinion, looks a lot better. It looks majestic. Like the fire actually looks like majestic, like horse hair. Kind of cool. Kind of lazy, to be honest, but I'm okay with it. Slowpoke, I guess they just kind of thought of like, what's a slow Pokemon? You know, how can we design a slow Pokemon? And then, hey, uh, the evolution is just gonna have a shell on his tail. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. Magnemite, however, I think deserves to go into C tier. I think there's just interesting things about him. You wouldn't. It's like when you think about a magnet Pokemon, it's not exactly the thing that you immediately think of. I guess it kind of is, but it kind of isn't either. Like the magnets as his arms is kind of cool, but Magneton I feel like deserves to go into D tier. I mean, 3 is better than 1, but like I feel like so lazy, so lazy. They could have gone in a different direction, try out different things, but they just went with like 3 of them. Let's just do 3 of them that's attached together because they're magnets. Makes absolutely no sense. Farfetch'd. Here's a controversial one, okay? Farfetch'd is for sure B tier. Why? Okay. In terms of design, he's a regular looking bird, chicken thing that's not interesting at all, right? But for some weird reason, he's holding on to a leek. Why is he holding on to a leek? I don't know the story behind it. There probably is some lore behind it, and any Pokemon that looks like there's some lore behind it is cool. Okay. And I just watched the anime. I just watched Pokemon Journeys, and there was Farfetch'd, and one of the descriptions was like, this is a Pokemon that slices up anything in its path with its leek. I'm like, what can you slice with a leek? Nothing. It's a leak. It makes absolutely no sense, and I love it. I just love it. I love it. Dodrio? No, Doduo. Doduo. Not interesting. Like, he's got two heads and everything, yeah, but he's not, no personality whatsoever. Not interesting at all. Same with Dodrio. He's just got another head. Ugh. Just, what are you thinking? And then, I know this is Dugong. I don't remember the name of this one. God. I don't remember. Oh my god, I lost it. I don't remember the name of this Pokemon. But terrible, terrible. Kind of cute, but terrible. Nah. Sorry, not for me. Grimer and Muck, just go away. Just terrible design. They were like thinking, oh, Grime, let's do like a garbage like Pokemon. What's he gonna look like? Oh, he's just gonna look like slime. Okay. And I don't know what the thing is with the name Muck. What is Muck? I guess Muck is like slang for like slime, I guess. Like dirt. There's some muck on your face. I don't know. Maybe. Shelder, kind of cute, not cutting it for me. Although Cloyster, B tier, he looks pretty cool to be honest with you. He looks pretty cool because he's got these spikes that he's kind of almost like a Blastoise. It's kind of the same reason I like Blastoise. He's got a big shell and there's like spikes sticking out his shell that looks like he can launch it like a rocket launcher. Kind of cool. Although, like, the Cloyster himself, you know, he's like inside this, he's just a ball. It kind of makes no sense. Ghastly. Okay. Ghastly. Here's the thing. B tier for sure. I'm almost tempted to put him. I think Ghastly deserves to go in A tier. And then Gengar, without a doubt, goes into S tier. I love this line so much, okay? It's a ghost Pokemon, okay? That's like controversial because you're talking about a kid's cartoon and you're talking about ghosts. You're talking about like Pokemon that have passed and became this thing, this evil looking thing. That's controversial and that's really brave. And that's why I put them really high up. And they're also really well designed. Like, if you look at Ghastly, it's just a ball, but it's got this, like, gas sticking out of it, so he kind of looks creepy, and he's purple. Dude. And then Haunter. Haunter looks the most menacing, to be honest. Like, Haunter looks like an actual ghost. He's got no legs. He's got no legs. It just comes to a point, and he looks absolutely evil, right, with his white eyes. And then Gengar actually almost looks cute. Gengar almost looks like adorable. Just because he looks like a little kid running around, right? And he's kind of evil, but he's really cute at the same time. For sure, S tier. Love Gengar so much, as a Pokemon, as whatever. Okay, and then Onix. Onix deserves to be an A tier because he's super iconic. He's Brock's like main Pokemon. Really cool looking. Weird because he's like a snake made of rocks, and he's got this weird looking face. He's got like a derpy face, and I like it a lot. Drowsy, I think C tier. He's like this elephant that does magic. Almost a B tier, I feel like. Hypno, also C tier. Interesting, you know, magician type Pokemon that's different from like Alakazam, but they're just not as cool. Krabby, I'm sorry, man. D tier for sure with Kingler. I guess Kingler is a little cooler because he's got this like one big claw and he looks like a pirate almost. I think that part of it makes him cool. Krabby, just nothing. Just a crab. Like nothing interesting. Electrode and this guy, I forgot the name of it. Voltorb. Oh my god, I'm spitting all over. Voltorb and Electrode, nah. Just, what are you, dude? What are you? You just reversed it and put a face on it? Horrible. Execute, I thought about this. He's not that cool, but he's pretty well designed. He's like a bunch of eggs. Coconuts? What are they? I don't even know what they are. They look like eggs, but they're probably coconuts because they evolve into Executor, which is like a palm tree with many faces. Just there's a lot of interesting things going on. They're just kind of ugly, right? If they look good and they look like a character that you would like, they would be an A tier, but they're just not that likable. Cubone, however, I think for sure A tier. Cubone, the backstory, the lore behind Cubone is kind of creepy, dude. It's kind of super creepy, and that makes him kind of cool. And then Marowak is just a mother, but for sure well designed, cool. I like it a lot. Cubone is wearing the skull of like a Marowak, which is so interesting to me. I think Marowak goes down to B tier though, just because Cubone's so much more interesting. Hitmonlee, I think B tier. Hitmonchan's a little better designed. I feel like you should go to A tier. I like these two a lot. I hate to split them up, but I feel like Hitmonlee is just not that interesting. Like, what's going on here? Why is he like this shape? You know, the body and the head is just one thing. He looks like I don't know what he looks like, okay? But Hitmonchan looks super like structurally kind of humanoid. He's got this crown on the head. I don't know what that is. He's got boxing gloves as hands. Just everything about Hitmonchan is really cool. Really well designed. Lickitung is interesting, just not interesting enough. No personality. It's just like a licky Pokemon. I don't know where it comes from. But yeah, not so interesting. Coughing is kind of interesting. He's this like toxic Pokemon, you know, is a little bit interesting. Wheezing, however, is just the uglier version of that. Not interesting at all. Rhyhorn, I think for sure goes into B tier. He's this armored looking like rhinoceros kind of Pokemon, and that makes him really cool. He doesn't look quite like a rhinoceros, and that's what makes him nice. He's this armored version. Rhydon, in my opinion, should go to C tier, just because I like Rhydon a lot. He's this big dude that looks, you know, like it can crush a lot of things. But I wish he had the armor that Rhyhorn has. Like, he looks like he's got skin, not armor, you know? He just doesn't look as tough as Rhyhorn, to be honest. Chansey is iconic. Not that well designed, but super iconic because he's the Pokemon of the nursing station. I don't know what to call it, but he's the one that heals Pokemon. Kind of interesting, unique. He does look like an egg thing. I don't know what's going on, but I like it a lot. Tangela, not so interesting. It's just like a thing with a lot of vines on it. There's no thought put into the design at all, in my opinion. It's just meant to look kind of cute and kind of mysterious. That's it. Kangaskhan I like a lot. Kangaskhan is like a kangaroo Pokemon, but he's also like a war type Pokemon because it's kind of inspired by Genghis Khan, I guess. I don't know why then he would have a baby. I guess because he's kangaroo and kangaroos have babies in their little pouches. But he does look menacing, and there's just a lot of interesting stuff about him. A lot of personality in the design and everything. Horsey, just another cute like Pokemon. Not interesting. Seadra, not interesting. Goldeen, even less interesting. I feel like then Seadra should go up one just because Goldeen and oh god, I don't even know the name of this. I forgot. Terrible Pokemon. So Staryu. Staryu goes up to I think C tier, but he is pretty iconic, so I think he should go up to B tier. Starmie, kind of the same thing, just like has more stuff, you know, more like legs and arms. His little gem thing in the middle was a little bigger. Very iconic because it's Misty's main Pokemon. One of Misty's main Pokemon. Pretty cool. I like it a lot. Mr. Mime, also very iconic, kind of cute, has personality to some extent. Not enough to go up to A in my opinion. Scyther. Scyther for sure goes up into A tier. Why? Because Scyther was the Pokemon that, as a kid, everybody wanted. Because he's really fast. He's one of the fastest Pokemons there is, I think. He's very cool. Very cool looking. Because he's got these like blades as hands. And he's like a menacing looking Pokemon, dude. He's like a bug Pokemon, but he looks like he's got armor. Just everything about him is cool. A tier for sure. Jinx, not sure what they were going for here. I think it's like somewhat inspired by like Japanese like red light culture or something. Just something like pretty controversial. I think that's enough to put him in C tier, but terribly designed, no personality. Nobody likes this Pokemon. Nobody, I'm telling you. Electabuzz for sure, along with Magmar, goes up to B tier because these are like two sort of like same type of Pokemon. They look kind of have a similar like body type. Very cool looking. One is lightning, one is fire. They're different enough that to make them interesting. Definitely. I don't know what they are. That's what it is. I don't know what they are, and that makes it so interesting. Pinsir, not interesting enough. I feel like Pinsir is a beetle, right? He's got these like creepy looking mouth thing, but just so forgettable. Tauros, not iconic, nothing much about it. I do like the design. It does look good. So I think I'll bring him up to B tier. Magikarp. You know what? Magikarp, I will put him up in B tier just because it's such an interesting concept, right? He's this little like fish thing that can't do a thing, right? He's kind of like Abra. He can't do much. Like it doesn't attack, it splashes, but evolves into this amazing looking Pokemon, Gyarados. Tempted to put him in S tier, but I think not quite. Definitely an A tier Pokemon. He looks super strong. He is super strong. He has he can learn Ice Beam and a bunch of like really good moves. But he's one of those Pokemon that you work hard and you can get like a stronger Pokemon once it evolves. Um, just very interesting in that way. Lapras for sure A tier. Again, any Pokemon that you feel like you can ride and you can like cuddle with and they can like love you, this is that Pokemon, okay? And this is an A tier Pokemon for sure. Uh, just a lovable Pokemon that is also happens to be pretty strong. Ditto, ugh, you know what? Design wise, terrible. Concept wise, pretty interesting. Because he turns into like any Pokemon, anything actually. Interesting concept. Enough to put him in C tier. Eevee, in my opinion, goes up here. Why? Here's the thing. I don't like that Pokemon or the Pokemon Company is trying to push Eevee to be like the next Pikachu. It kind of makes no sense in that way because Eevee is interesting enough. In terms of design, it's very cute. It's very lovable. I feel like it appeals more to girls maybe than guys, or it used to. But it does appeal to me too, so I shouldn't say that. But it's the concept of it that I love, right? It's that this blank slate Pokemon. It learns very basic like normal attacks until you evolve it into like any of like the plethora of Pokemon that has come out now. But it used to be only three, right? You have Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon. It's this idea of like, hey, you can kind of personalize your Pokemon in this way. That makes it super cool. And then now we talk about the evolutions. They are a little different in my opinion. I think Vaporeon is A tier for sure, right? Maybe I do have a thing about water Pokemon, I don't know, but he just looks really well designed. He's got this like fish tail. It looks pretty cool. He's got these fins as ears, just really cool looking. Whereas like I feel like Jolteon is a little bit less. It's not as good. The design's just not as good. Along with Flareon, they deserve to go to B tier, just because it's just nothing quite as interesting as Vaporeon in my opinion. Porygon, interesting concept, interesting design. Not good though. Not good in any way. Omanite is one of the fossil Pokemons, but definitely the worst of them. Omastar, same deal. Not cool enough. Kabutops, sorry, no, Kabuto, C tier. Not interesting, not interesting. But it doesn't evolve into this really cool Pokemon. Kabutops, definitely, I think one of the best fossil Pokemon there is. Aerodactyl as well is very cool. I like Kabutops quite a bit more, but I feel like they're both very interesting. Interesting enough to put him there. Snorlax, here's the thing. He is S tier for sure. Okay. He reminds me of like, if you've seen this cartoon called My Neighbor Totoro, he kind of reminds me of Totoro, right? It's the same kind of color. He's always sleeping, but he's adorable. He's not threatening in any way, but he's humongous, right? He's just like a big teddy bear, dude. Who doesn't love a big teddy bear? S tier, for sure. He's also like one of my logos that I use for like my Pokemon pages. Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Here's the thing. All three super iconic. In terms of iconic, 9.5 for all of them. In terms of design, they're all a little different in my opinion. Articuno looks the best. They put a lot more effort into his design, I feel. The other two birds just kind of feel like the creator went like, "Hey, I need you to design a bird that's sorry, let me check my Okay, we're good. We're good. Um the other two birds with Zapdos, they're like, "How would you design like a lightning bird?" And then they're just like, "Oh, he would have spiky fur, spiky hair, That's how it's gonna look." And that's what they came up with. It's a little bit lazy in that way. He's got these like, "Oh, sharp beak. We're gonna do a sharp long beak because that's gonna match his like sharp look." And then with Moltres, they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna make him on fire, like Firebird, That's what he's gonna look like." And it still kind of looks ugly. So Articuno, without a doubt, goes into A tier. Zapdos, just because how iconic they are. Like, I remember as a kid, if you caught one of these guys, you'd be so happy, dude. You would just be set. Like, you'd feel on top of the world catching one of these birds. And that's why they go up to B tier. Dratini, Here's the thing. I remember being really happy catching him. I think he deserves to go into B tier just because, okay? His older brother, Dragonite, deserves to go into S tier. It's just so well designed, in my opinion, is Dragonite. Okay? Why? I'm about to tell you. Oh, it's Dragonite? No, I didn't mean to say that. Okay, Dragonite. He is this Pokemon that is like a massive, huge dragon-looking thing. Kind of has like similar wings to Charizard, but he's kind of like the lovable Charizard. He's the Charizard that everybody wanted to hug, right? Charizard is menacing. He's strong looking. He is really strong. So Dragonite, on the other hand, everybody just wants to be friends with him. But yet he's a dragon. And that makes him incredibly lovable. A lot more lovable than Charizard, right? Charizard is like, people like would probably be intimidated by a Charizard, right? Dragonite could never intimidate anybody, but he'd make everybody fall in love with him though. And that's why he's super cool. Mewtwo and Mew. I feel like I have to do Mew first. In terms of how iconic he is and how cool he is in terms of design. A tier. A tier. Almost S tier. But obviously, I think S tier. Sorry. I think S tier. Why? The idea and the lore behind Mew is just amazingly cool. He's this like protector Pokemon, like protector of nature, protector of all Pokemon, defender of like all Pokemon. He ends up like saving Ash. The concept behind it is incredibly cool. In terms of design, I feel like it's kind of arguable. He is very cute. He does look like this playful little Pokemon. There is personality there. Like, he's very likable too. So I'll put him in S tier. There's something a little bit missing out of Mew, in my opinion, like in terms of its design, but definitely in terms of everything else, 10 out of 10, S tier for sure. Mewtwo, don't even talk to me about it. S tier, cool Pokemon, one of the coolest, my top 3 favorite Pokemon ever. Because the backstory behind Mewtwo is incredibly cool. He is this man-made copy. It's the relationship between Mewtwo and Mew is sort of like man and nature, right? Mewtwo is man-made, Mew is just nature. And it's this two kind of opposing forces, and Mewtwo wants to destroy everything, Mew wants to save everything and defend everything, and they end up being together, and they end up being like friends, and it's kind of like man and nature coming together. The freaking concept behind it is so cool. The design absolutely amazing with Mewtwo. He just looks like this menacing Pokemon without too much detail. There's not a lot of detail in his design. He doesn't have to look incredibly powerful or like muscular or like big, but he's menacing enough to like intimidate everything in Pokemon. That puts him in S tier, in my opinion. One probably top 3 favorite Pokemon ever. That does it for my tier list. This is my very first tier list. To everybody watching, please, please, please like the video. Subscribe to my channel, please. That would help me so much. I will be making a lot more of these videos if you come and watch them. And please comment below what you guys want to see as my next tier list. I'd love to do a lot more of these. I have so much fun with it. So please do that. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.